Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're enjoying the week leading up to the new year. I just went to the gym up here near our vacation home, the house that my wife grew up coming to on vacations up in the mountains in Vermont, and they have a little clubhouse. So I came down here to work out, and I was thinking about discipline, and because I didn't want to work out, and over the past year, I've been thinking to myself that if I really don't want to do something, that's when I have to do it. And I was listening to a podcast with Andrew Huberman, who is the neuroscientist out of Stanford University. He has a podcast called the Huberman Lab, and he had Jocko Willink on, who is the ex-Navy SEAL. And Jocko was talking about discipline and how he doesn't wait for motivation to move. And because motivation is a fleeting feeling that can be there one day and not the next. And he doesn't count on motivation. He counts on discipline and action. And typically, motivation comes after action. So that got me thinking about drivers and critical numbers with the great game of business and in our company, in our agency. And it's a big reason why we made the progress we did, or we didn't get as far as we could have last year, because we set a critical number, we got buy-in, but we didn't have clear drivers or the daily disciplines, the habitual actions that it would take to accomplish the critical number. We hit our critical number, but I think we could have gotten further if we had more clear drivers or daily disciplines or actions that each person can take to impact the critical number and to help the company succeed. So this year we're going through our drivers with that in mind. And it's just so clear to me how it could have just been so much better if they were more clear. I'm just trying to imagine the next year coming up, and if we have every single person doing something that will impact the critical number, if not every day, they're doing it every week, and it's becoming a habitual action for each person, I don't see how we won't succeed, how the company won't hit its critical number for the year. And then just looking at some of the ones, and I said this yesterday in a different video, but then I got a different driver or something that we should focus on from someone else, and it all came back to, will that driver, what is the cost and effort of that activity, and how much impact will it have on the critical number? And I think it's critical to have each person come up with a number, like an actual number for the impact and for the cost. How much will it cost? How long will it take? How many people will be involved? How many man hours or labor hours will it take to get this thing off the ground? And then when we finally get it off the ground, how soon before we start making money? How soon before we start selling this thing? Or how soon before it impacts our critical number? And then what will the impact on their critical number be? It's just such a powerful exercise to have people start thinking in these ways, because it cuts right to the heart of, what are you going to do to make us successful? And then if we do focus on these activities, will they help make us successful? Will they help us hit our critical number or hit our goals? And in the past, again, we definitely missed the mark on this, because drivers were very generic, and therefore they weren't specific, and they weren't judged based on effort and impact. That's such a powerful tool that I got from the great game of business, that now I have every person that comes to me with an idea or a driver or something they should be focused on, I have every person go through that activity and tell me what they think the effort and the impact on the critical number would be. Or if it's not on the critical number, what effort and what impact on anything? Is it going to impact the critical number of that team or that department or that process? Or will it impact the overall critical number? Like, why would we do this? Why would we invest time on this? And it just brings up kind of, memories of the past, how we used to run things. And my partner and I, before the Great Game of Business, would just have people focused on things that, if they were accomplished or worked on, or if we did get buy-in, they led nowhere. So it's good accountability for us as entrepreneurs and as business owners too, to have our people assess our ideas and to assess our own ideas before moving forward, because we can quite easily give our organization whiplash. We could have them focused on one thing one month, another thing the other month. And I can tell you from experience, that's the quickest way to make people frustrated and not happy at work, is if they're doing something because they think that, you want them to do it, and then there's no real reason for it, or there's no real impact to the company on the other side. And we've just had a lot of people over the years tell us within our company, I just hope we stick with this. Whatever it is, I hope we stick with it. I hope we see it through, and I hope it has an impact. Well, now with the effort impact map or process or assessment, we do that with every single driver, every single process beforehand. So we're only working on the things that either have very low impact, very, very low effort or cost, or very high impact, or a combination of the two. And if we focus on anything else, there better be a good reason for it. So that just brings me back to the daily disciplines of business, just like life. These daily disciplines are easy to not do because there's no immediate reward, but they're critical to get in the habit of doing if you want to be where, somewhere in a year or 2 years, 5 years from now. And that's the same exact thing with the organization. And that's why drivers are so powerful, because they get people focused on the daily actions that can become habitual, that will ultimately lead the company to success and to hitting its critical number year in and year out. And there's really, if you've done it right and you set these drivers properly and you assess them with the effort and impact map, there's no way that you won't succeed. That's what I think. And we'll see next year. But it's definitely going to be better than last year, where drivers were pretty generic, vague, and we didn't think through to the other side of those drivers. If they were accomplished, we didn't think through to the impact, and that caused a lot of confusion, wasted time, and wasted money, most of all. And it took us away from our goals and not towards them. So remember, people support what they help create. If you have any questions about drivers, critical number, or anything about this video, comments, don't hesitate to leave them below. And thanks for watching.